before we start, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more real-life stories you won't forget. I've never been the type of man who grabs his phone in the middle of the night. When I sleep, I truly sleep. But that night was different. I woke at exactly 4:03 a.m. The room was pitch black, unnaturally quiet, and the air felt unusually heavy. I rolled over and noticed my wife wasn't beside me. At first, I assumed she was in the bathroom. Then I saw her phone flashing on the nightstand. I checked mine. One new message. Just one line. Relax. I'll explain soon. No calls, no context, nothing. My chest tightened, but my mind didn't spiral. I stared at the screen for a few moments and responded with a single word. No. No punctuation, no emotion. I set the phone down and sat in silence. We'd been married 9 years. We'd survived normal storms, work stress, bills, losing family, even a miscarriage. Love had morphed into survival over time, and we endured. But lately, something had shifted in her. Her laugh changed first. It no longer landed on me. It felt like she saved it for someone else. Her phone became her private sanctuary, angled away, always out of reach. When she finally returned that morning, I was already dressed and waiting in the living room, lamp on. Her slippers lay abandoned by the door. She froze. The guilt was subtle, almost practiced. "You're awake," she said quietly. "I got your text." I replied, "It's not what you think." "That's good," I said. "Then it shouldn't be hard to explain." She looked away. "I was with Mia. We just lost track of time." Funny thing, Mia had moved to Chicago 2 months earlier. I'd helped her pack. I didn't say that. I simply nodded and walked past her toward the kitchen, starting the coffee. She followed, voice shaking. "You don't believe me?" I stirred my cup slowly. "Does it matter?" "Of course it matters. You're my husband." I looked straight at her. "Then why did you text me like a stranger?" She didn't answer. She stood there, waiting for me to explode like most people would. But anger didn't come first. Something heavier hit me. Exhaustion. I was tired of guessing what she wouldn't say, tired of secrets, tired of the half-hearted smiles. "You could have just told me." I finally said. "Told you what?" she whispered. "That you checked out a long time ago." She didn't argue, though she might have wanted to. She showered, changed, and left for work like nothing had happened. No hug, no goodbye, just the sound of her heels echoing down the hall. I sat there, watching the steam rise from my coffee, and realized something. Love doesn't always explode when it dies. Sometimes it simply fades quietly. Around noon, she texted again. "Can we talk later, please?" I ignored it. I walked the city streets, replaying every moment in my head, realizing how invisible I had become in my own marriage. Every memory felt like an old photograph. That evening, she tried to restore normalcy. Dinner cooked, candles lit, an effort so polished it looked perfect, but none of it felt real. We ate in silence until she finally asked, voice cracking, "Can we fix this?" "That depends on what you broke," I replied. She didn't cry. Even her guilt maintained grace. I slept on the couch that night, close to midnight. Another message arrived. "Relax. I'll explain soon." The same line, like a loop she'd been stuck in for months. The next morning, she was gone before I woke. No note, no text. The place smelled like her perfume, but felt completely empty. I finally reached a point where I needed answers. I logged into our shared phone account. Something I'd never done before, not out of distrust, but because truth always surfaces eventually. And there it was. One number repeated over and over. Late-night calls, texts, always him. When I dialed it, a man answered casually, like he expected the call. "Hey, you up already?" He paused at my silence. "Who is this?" I didn't respond. I just hung up. That was all I needed. When she returned that night, I didn't question, accuse, or shout. I asked calmly, "Do you still want to explain?" She froze. "What do you mean?" "Let's talk," I said, pointing to the couch. She inhaled, then finally spoke the truth. It started with just talking. I felt alone. You've been distant, and I needed someone to listen. So you found company, I said quietly. It wasn't supposed to go far, she whispered. I didn't want to hurt you. People always say that, I said, but they do anyway. Do you love him? She shook her head. No, I love you. Then why him? Her voice cracked. He made me feel like I mattered again. That line hit harder than the betrayal itself. It was real. I didn't argue, bargain, or try to fix it. A realization settled over me. Some things don't return to their original shape. We sat together, crying quietly, mourning a version of ourselves that no longer existed. Finally, I said softly, I'm not angry. I'm just done. She begged me not to say it. I wasn't trying to hurt her. I was finally speaking truth. You didn't lose me today, I said gently. You let me go a long time ago. I packed a small bag, the essentials, my clothes, my watch, a photo of my dad. As I passed her, she held her phone like a lifeline. I'll text you, she whispered. Don't, I said calmly. I've read enough of your messages. I walked out. The hallway felt strangely calm, not like running away, but like waking up. She tried over the next few days, texts, calls, voice notes, but I didn't answer. Silence became my boundary. A week later, a letter arrived at my temporary place. Inside, a single line in her handwriting. You were right. I stopped being here long before I left. I'm sorry. No excuses. No explanations. Just truth. I folded it and put it away, not to hold on to pain, but to remember the lesson. Love doesn't die when someone cheats. Love dies when someone stops trying, when small gestures fade, when conversations turn into negotiations, when good night becomes routine instead of comfort. Months passed. I began taking care of myself again, running, eating well, sleeping normally, laughing freely, slowly remembering parts of me she had forgotten existed. One morning, exactly at 4 a.m., I woke again. Same hour, same quiet, but this time it felt light. I checked my phone. No messages, just silence, and it felt peaceful. That's when I realized the strongest move isn't always fighting for love. Sometimes it's refusing to beg for answers from someone who has already chosen someone else. When I think back to that 4 a.m. message, I don't feel anger anymore. I feel grateful. Grateful, I finally woke up. Grateful, I finally said yes to myself.